so now we're back. I have my coconut oil. It's obviously in its solid phase. And I already did one pan so that you guys didn't have to sit around and wait while I did the other. But you take the oil. This is, you can spray this. Obviously you can use your PAM, whatever you want to do to spray your pans. I like to use the coconut oil just because I think it's a lot healthier. It does not change the taste of your bread, so you don't have to worry about that. But that way I get the all natural and the health benefits from coconut oil. And you can use any kind, it doesn't even matter, whatever's cheap, whatever kind that you prefer. It may be something different than me. But just make sure that the entire pan, all the way up the sides, is coated in something so that your bread does not stick. Because when you pull it out of the oven, you want to be able to have it pop out of your bread pan. And we're going to let our bread rise. In just a minute I'll show you what we're going to do, but we're going to let our bread rise and hopefully it'll rise up to the edge of this pan. So you need to make sure in the corners, make sure you get into the corners. Those are the hardest ones to get down at the bottom, and that's right where your bread will stick. So it will rip when you try to pull it out. So I got my pan all ready, and this will actually work great to keep my hands nice and oiled for when I pull my bread out. So here we go. I'm trying to get the clumps of coconut out of my pan. So here's my pan. It looks like I did a pretty good job greasing it all up. I don't see any spots that I missed. Put it off to the side, and here is our bread. I'll show you this. See how much bigger it is? It has risen quite a bit. And I'm going to get my flour here, and I'm going to sprinkle my counter a little bit with flour just to make sure that what I have doesn't stick. I'm actually going to, I forgot to take my rings off again. I'm going to get this coconut oil all over my hands so that it helps it not stick. And you just kind of will peel it out of the pan or the bowl. And if you did this in a nice greased pan, this should fall right out. But I keep saying pan. I was just talking about my bread pans, but it's a bowl. If you greased your bowl beforehand, it won't stick. But I used, so I didn't have to do another dish, I just used my regular one, and I lost a little bit of dough there, but not too bad. So we're just going to knead this very lightly. This is not a very heavy knead. And then we're going to split this in half, and we're going to put it in our pans respectively. So here's my bread, and it looks fantastic. And it's not sticking, so that's perfect. So I'm actually going to kind of get it so that it's half on one side, half on the other, and I'm going to squeeze my fingers together, and it pretty much cuts the dough in half. There we go. So now I have two balls, and I'm going to kind of pat it into a loaf shape. You can do however you want to, but I like to get it so that I don't have any cracks or anything, so I'm going to pinch them together as best I can, shape it into a loaf, and I'm going to stick it into my greased pan. And then we're going to do the same thing we did with the bowl. We're just going to top it with my clean towel here, and we're going to let it rise until hopefully it fills the whole pan. Get that shape. There we go. It's a nice loaf. In my bread, if you use the smaller loaves, you'll probably have better luck filling the entire thing. But because I have my bigger pans, it gives me more crust. I'm a big fan of crust. So I'm just going to lay it in there like that. Look at that little baby in the pan. Looks good. And we'll let it rise like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And this one's actually feeling like it might be a little bit bigger than the other one. But this one's already in the loaf shape, so that makes it easy for me. Just keep doing this. This is actually how I make my meatloaf too. I like my meatloaf in loaves. And I actually make it right in the loaf pan also. So anyway, so here we go. Here's my second loaf. We're going to take our pan, we're just going to lay it in there, just like we did the other one. So there we go. So we're adding them side by side, and I'm going to cover them up. And in about a half an hour, we're going to stick them in our oven that is preheated to 350. So I'll be back when I pull them out.